That's really a nice, that'll give us a little nice reward to risk over there for a quick counter trend trade. Because the statistics on this is round 2, so it is definitely getting oversold. On the PR earnings gappers, you've got, right, you got STZ, which this one looks actually pretty zesty. If you can break under this kind of 151, that'll be your pre-market low. If not, you know, what we'll need to see is like a nice little pullback into the 9 EMA or some type of pop and then refade, and we'll get something juicy coming over there. Same thing with this SGH, right? You know, you got a PR earnings gapper play. So you got 25 bucks, right? It's just ripped all the way below. So you know, you got already really, really good range in the I'm always late, Joe. If you show up 5 minutes late, I'll still beat you to it. What's going on, Buffalo? How are you? So this got a really nice range already. We got 8 bucks on this thing. I'm thinking if it can build an ORB or something below that 26, we're right into the sweet spot of, you know, letting this thing build. If it starts popping, it rips into like 28, 27, 28. I don't think you can go ORB on this thing because the SSR will be on it anyways, and then you're going to be above support, so it's going to be hard to short. When you really think about these things, right? Think about, right, where your support and resistance is on the daily, and then when you day trade, right, you've got to actually clear under those levels to take the day trade down. Anytime you take a day trade and it's not aligned on multiple time frames, meaning like if you're taking a day trade and it's up here, but you haven't broken through the support, then what happens is your trade will have a lot less probability and you end up getting into like kind of choppy trades. And we don't want to get into choppy trades, right? We got enough things in the world that cause us losses. The last thing we need to do is have unclean stocks. Let's talk about the watch list real quick since we only have like 2 minutes. I do apologize for being late, Mr. Gallagher. It's having a little computer trouble. Not computer trouble. You know those fucking or Bulls on Wall Street YouTube uses those Google Authenticator codes? I don't never know how to find those things. I'm always logged on, but then it's like, I don't know how to get them. So, still watching this Twilio over the 100. Man, this 100 has really been like a monster kind of resistance. If you chase a spike into it, it's going to fade off. But what you are seeing is really healthy price action. When it starts to dip, right, and you get like big flushes, the rebounds have been really nice. And that's what you want to see in the market. The intraday action after yesterday's big dip indicates, right, that the price action is slowly changing from control from the bears to bulls. It doesn't mean we're bottoming or anything like that. But on a short-term level, the price action is really good. As day traders, we always have to be mindful of, right, how the action is intraday in relation to what we are seeing, right? And if we can do that properly and we start to notice changes in market structure, that can give us an edge in these trades. TLRY has a base breakout pattern on its daily chart over here, breaking out of this trend line. You got probably room up to 95. You saw CGC running hot into the close also on, what fucking day is it today? Tuesday. So, sorry. So I think this one also will have a little bit of juice on this bad boy. And I keep this on your list. It's opening week right now. If we get like a quick dump at the open, we'll watch this thing for potential red to green. You know, I don't have any particular bias on this Roku Lucci. And the reason it's kind of hanging above these MAs, but it's also sitting like right at resistance on its daily. So it's kind of a tweener. It's a nice trader, but you don't have a clear edge on it, you know, when you're looking at the daily chart because, you know, the easy short obviously was yesterday, right? Yesterday was the easy short. You know, that was like, I mean, that was some of the fastest money we've ever made, you know, on the short side. It happens so quick, right? When news hits, news just hits. But now, like, it's kind of tapped back into more of a demand zone. So it's just in between. You know, I can't give you a read on it just yet. If it's long or short, you'll have to let the trend set intraday and then see really what goes down. What could go either way. PDD on watch for a potential range break. And then this NKTR, same thing. This is one of the few biotech stocks I've seen that's not like crazy extended. But it is getting still on day 3. So ideally another kind of half day, 1 day of sideways action. But it had some midday news out. And so sometimes, news begats the price action. I told you this CLDS. One more push. So look, if this thing had opened red, I'd try to go red to green on it. But because it's a day 4 and it gapped up, remember this, when you get day 4 and you gap up, that takes all the edge out of it on the long side, and you just won't have anything there. And then keep this CGC on the watch list, and we'll definitely go in and do what we got to do. You could put in, AXSM. Usually once these things start grinding for a couple days, for me, they just kind of, all of a sudden there's like a lot more tug between the shorters and the pumpers and the reverse pumpers, and next thing you know, right, we're just kind of in no man's land. So usually once they start grinding up for a few days, I kind of try to leave it alone. Not that it was a focus of mine anyways, but it looks all right. I think you still got to put it on your watch list and do it because it's got crazy range. We're in a new year, and one thing to remember is that, if people are going to get squeezed on shorting too early. As the market comes back, as the market's starting to kind of roar back, I think people pay the price for shorting a little bit too early right now. So you got to be just real mindful of that too. Add in that CGC. What was the other one? TLR what? Good. TLR CGC. Alright, let's kind of clean up this junk. Always clean up your list, bros. Oh, and add LABD too. Remember that. LABD, STZ, SGH. The list crew. You know what? I would add VHC to the list. I would add. You know what? This didn't even show up in any of my little scanners, but that's hot. I'd keep it on the list. Don't just chase it up, though. Ideally, when something like this, see how it's opening at 420? If it flushes down at the open, let the SSR hit on it. If the SSR hits on it, then you start to see it grind near support, like it starts to hold above 4, and that SSR is triggered, that's when you can get that quick squeeze back to the other way. So just be mindful. You're already down about 30 cents or so. If you get a few more, that SSR will trigger, and then you're going to be then you'll be rolling. All right? Cool. Let's do this, bros. Guys, as always, be fun, be safe, trade well, make